as you mean to go on. By that she means that don't tolerate things now and be like, this guy's gonna change. Put your cards straight and be like, no, this for me is a no-no. This for me is a no-no. And for me, that was a bit difficult. Remember, I battled to communicate. So that was a bit difficult. So I just took things along, like, this is going to change. This is going to change. And that is a very wrong thing. So it's so important that you don't assume things. You don't expect things. You speak that you want, things that you want to see, things that you don't like. It's very important. I think it all boils down to communication, right? So those were the things that really were a bit of an issue for me, and that I thought, communication is very important. And more than anything, guys, values. We can all be Christian, but it is important to communicate your values. By that I mean, others are Christian, but they don't believe in tithe. It's just an example. Others are Christian, they believe maybe in women wearing a skirt. Others are Christian, they believe in a woman tying a toque. So that differs. So it's very important that even though you guys say you're Christian, you have to communicate what does that mean. Because it is so, your guys, relationship with God, your religion is very crucial in marriage. Because if you guys are not one-minded, it's going to mess up things. So it's very important. So with me and my husband, those things were communicated. And the beauty of it is that we're in the same ministry, but that does not mean we believe the same thing. So it was very important that we communicate. By God's grace, we do believe the same thing, more especially in Christianity, of which is very important for me as a child of God, that we communicate those things. So that's another thing that you guys have to speak about your values. Communicate about one's relationship with money, guys. Those are things that are taken for granted, and they cause divorce. Finances can cause divorce and marriage. It's not always unfaithfulness. No. Mostly is finances, because other people do not have a great relationship with money. So if you have a great relationship with money, you need to communicate with your spouse, and just to understand, how is your relationship with money? How do you what's your relationship with money? How do you your priorities, communicate those things. Are very important. And another thing that needs to be communicated in marriage is with regards to parenthood. What is parenthood according to you? Because sometimes I think what kills us the most is that we come with expectations and thinking that, okay, so we're going to be parents, and we both are parents for these children. We have to common sense is not always common to everyone. You have to communicate, because other people believe, okay, it's a woman's job. And it's not a woman's job to raise kids. It's not a woman's job to raise kids. And women, I think, go through a lot. I personally went through a lot when I had children. Because COVID, no vaccine. They are like after each other, And I love children. I've got a heart for abantwana, of which I'm grateful to God for. But it's very important. There's a lot of things that happen in a woman's body when you go into motherhood, right? And there's a lot of even personal insecurities that one goes through, right? In terms of I don't know about other women. I'm talking for myself, right? And I went through depression as well. Not because of maybe my husband, and no, but because of this parenting thing is new to me. And there's your postpartum depression that most women go through, and others are going through but are in denial. It's very important not to be in denial when you go through. I'm going to share on some of my videos about my mental health journey. I went through quite a bit, so I'm going to share as well about my mental health journey as well. But that is important also in marriage to know. Even as I think about Baba, it's important for men to understand that women go through a lot. I know that men do as well, because when you guys united and are one, you guys go through, you become pregnant, the both of you, because some other symptoms of emotions, of what they also affect your husband. So I've also witnessed that in my own marriage, that even when I was pregnant, some of the things, obviously now that I'm a bit saying my kids are now here, I'm no longer pregnant, now I get to realize, oh no, when my husband was acting like this, he was also going through his own. So this thing affected us both, although I was the one carrying the baby, right? So it's very, very important that you guys communicate what family looks like, finances, relationship with God, parenthood. And another thing is that do not get lost. What happened for me is that I got lost in marriage. And I think I lost myself, the self that I was discovering, right? Because I was still on a journey. I wasn't fully discovered. I lost myself, whereby I'm now like, okay, I'm married. This is what the wife is supposed to do. I have to do this. And forgetting that I have to be filled so that I can pour from a full cup. You understand? So I think that was my disadvantage. That's one thing that I took out, which I lost myself in marriage. I don't think it's in a bad way or something, but it's not good to lose yourself, because remember, the person fell in love with you, that he saw that, so when you lose yourself, it's, I think, but this step somehow. So that's one thing that I did. And one thing that I've also learned is that you have to be selfless when you're in marriage. Don't do with an expectation that someone else was going to do to you. That is wrong, right? And most of the time you're not going to get that. So marriage is not 50-50, but it's 100-100. So give your 100. Give your 100, whatever. Don't say, I did this. Obviously there's chores and things that are split in between families. Okay, you take care of this. Yeah, I understand that logo. But what I'm saying is that in giving, in being selfless, it's very important that you do it wholeheartedly, without any expectation. You do it like unto God, because whatever you do to your spouse, you report to God, and God is not going to judge you according to, no, you did this because your husband did it. No, you will be uiwani in God's presence when he says, why did you do this? So it's very important that you serve God in marriage. Marriage is all about servanthood. So those are the lessons that I've learned in marriage, that, I have to serve. I thought I was serving, but I really, really have to serve, and serve like my life depends on it. Because remember, this is God's institution. When I serve my husband, I'm serving God, and my reward is going to come from God, not from my husband. I think that's a mistake that we make, that, okay, I cooked, I'm expecting him to do the dishes. I did this, I'm expecting him to do the garden. No, do everything with a mantle that God has given you, and leave everything to God. So those are the things that I'm taking away from this 5 years, that communication is key. My relationship with God, well, of which is that one is like standard settled, right? With God is, in terms of values, in terms of our belief, that one is very important. And never to lose yourself, to carry yourself to give yourself more grace, and to serve like it all depends on you. Serve your children. I'm telling you guys, it pays. It pays. I know sometimes it doesn't look like it, but it pays, because whatever that one does, they do it unto God. And God is the rewarder. Because if your spouse is not taking good care of you, guess what? He's going to be rewarded according to that. You reap rather what you've sown. You understand? And you won't plant onion and expect to reap oranges. No, exactly what you put in the ground is what is going to come out. So whatever that you do to your spouse, you report to God. Whatever that your spouse does to you, he reports to God. So it's very, very important that when you're going to marriage, and learn about marriage as quickly, like angazi, like learn by reading materials. Listen to someone. There's gifted people who speak on marriage. If you are not blessed maybe with a woman of God and a man of God that speaks on marriage, there's people on YouTube. YouTube has now made our lives a bit easier. There's a lot of things that you can find on YouTube. Listen to podcasts. Look at young couples that you aspire to be. Obviously not envying them, but just you're like, you know what, this looks good. And another thing in closing is that I realized that, in as much as you feel like your marriage is insignificant, or rather you don't have much impact, you do. There's people in your community, there's people at church, there's people in your working environment that look at you in whatever your community that say, if Obongi is still married, that means there's hope in marriage. Even to those who are going through like hectic challenges, remember, some other challenges are you go through them publicly. And then when you stand, I'm not saying good to stand for doti and things that are against your value, no. But what I'm saying is that marriage is not a smooth sail. It's got humps, but you have to stand. And by you standing, there's people that are looking at you, that desire to be you, that feel, if this person could stand, that means I can stand in life. If God was able to do it for this person, they look at your marriage, because everything from outside looks perfect, right? When you look at a couple, they're so cute together, but you don't know what goes inside. So it's very important to represent marriage good. I'm not saying pretend, but to represent marriage good. Wonke umuntu nama challenges asiqala ukubona ngawe ukuthi kunama challenges. So you hiding the challenges is not really pretending, but it's really protecting the institution of marriage. So that is it for me for today. Yeah, there's a lot to share. I could go on and on, but I don't really like a video that I like long. No, I think even this one I'm gonna cut it like into two. I don't want them to be too long. So yeah. So with that, I'm saying that, hey, 5 years in marriage, I'm growing stronger. We're growing stronger with my husband. I'm learning a lot. But one thing that I'm taking away from moving forward, going further in with my relationship with God and in this beautiful marriage, is that clear communication is key. So yeah, so what I'm taking out of this 5 years is clear communication. I need to be able to be myself fully. I need to be able to express myself. I need to be able to do without expecting. That one is my real takeaway, that I need to do without expecting, because in marriage I report to God. Thank you so much for watching. I believe if this video helped you, or you know that it can help someone, please do like, share it with someone, and comment. Tell me your experience, your journey in marriage, your lessons, Yeah, so thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you.